The Mohegan Sun Casino sits in the woods of rural Connecticut, 45 minutes from any major city. No direct flights, no flashy endorsement opportunities, no Instagram-worthy lifestyle. Yet somehow, the Connecticut Sun became one of the most consistently successful franchises in WNBA history. 4 finals appearances, sold-out arenas, a loyal fan base that rivals any major market team. But in 2025, everything changed. The league basically told them to take less money or get lost. After saving the WNBA when nobody else wanted it, Connecticut learned the brutal truth about being a small market team in a league obsessed with big cities and big money. This is the reality small market WNBA teams face every single day. The odds are stacked against them from the start. Players chase glamorous markets where endorsement deals flow freely. Owners prioritize cities with NBA partnerships and massive arenas. The league pushes expansion into places like San Francisco and Toronto, while smaller markets fight just to keep their teams. But some franchises refuse to die. They've figured out how to survive in a system designed to crush them. The WNBA landscape looks nothing like it did even 5 years ago. Back in 2002, the league was bleeding money and desperate. 2 franchises folded that offseason. Portland and Miami just disappeared. Nobody wanted women's basketball. The Orlando Miracle was next on the chopping block, ready to shut down completely. That's when the Mohegan Tribe stepped in with a crazy idea. They'd buy the failing franchise for $10 million and relocate it to their casino in the middle of nowhere, Connecticut. Critics laughed. A team in rural New England attached to a casino? It would never work. Except it did. The Sun became the first WNBA franchise to turn a profit. They capitalized on Connecticut's basketball-crazy culture built by UConn's dominance. Fans packed the 9,000-seat arena game after game. The team made the playoffs 16 times in 22 seasons. They reached the finals 4 times. All-stars and MVPs wore Sun jerseys. Tina Charles, Jonquel Jones, Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner. The roster constantly featured elite talent despite being located in Uncasville. Population basically 0. But success in a small market comes with a price. Players complained constantly about the location. Getting to games required long drives or complicated flights. There were no practice facilities. The team shared gym space with tribal members, meaning practices happened around birthday parties and Pilates classes. Loud music blasting while all-stars tried to prepare for playoff games. Stars like Jonquel Jones cited the lack of facilities as a major reason for leaving. The Sun couldn't offer what big market teams provided. No fancy training centers, no easy access to endorsement opportunities, no glamorous city life that players increasingly demanded. The league evolved around them. The WNBA became player-driven, with stars demanding trades to New York, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. Expansion talk centered exclusively on major metropolitan areas: San Francisco, Portland, Toronto, Detroit, Philadelphia, cities with NBA partnerships, massive media markets, and built-in infrastructure. Meanwhile, Connecticut sat in the woods watching the game pass them by. When the Mohegan Tribe decided to explore selling the franchise in 2025, 2 offers came in at $325 million each. One would keep the team in Connecticut, moving games to Hartford's renovated downtown arena. The other wanted to relocate to Boston. The WNBA's response exposed the brutal reality of small market life. The league rejected both offers and countered with their own proposal. They'd buy the Sun for just $250 million, then flip it to Houston, a city that lost out in expansion. Connecticut would lose $75 million for being loyal. The fans who supported women's basketball for over 20 years would get nothing. The tribe that saved a franchise when nobody else cared would watch their team disappear. Senator Richard Blumenthal called it what it was: a strong-arm tactic designed to push small markets out. This isn't just Connecticut's story. It's happening across the league in different ways. Small market teams operate with fundamentally different challenges than their big city counterparts. Revenue comes primarily from local sources before the new TV deals kick in. Tickets drive everything. But smaller populations mean smaller potential fan bases, less corporate sponsorship money, fewer media opportunities, lower visibility for players seeking endorsements. The financial disadvantages compound. Look at the numbers. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, the Indiana Fever averaged just 4,067 fans per game in 2023, second lowest in the league. The year before, an embarrassing 1,776 per game. Indianapolis isn't tiny, but it's not Los Angeles or New York either. The Fever struggled financially for years, unable to compete for top free agents or generate buzz. They were irrelevant, losing constantly, playing in front of empty arenas. The franchise seemed destined for mediocrity or relocation. Then everything changed overnight. Clark got drafted first overall in 2024, and suddenly Indiana became the hottest ticket in sports. Home attendance exploded to over 17,000 per game. The Fever sold 643,343 total tickets in 2024 compared to just 227,000 the year before, a 182% increase. Teams relocated their home games against Indiana to bigger arenas just to handle demand. Washington moved a game to Capital One Arena and drew 20,711 fans, setting a regular season attendance record. 4 different networks recorded their most-watched WNBA games ever because of Clark. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Indiana got lucky. They landed the biggest star in women's basketball history through the draft lottery. One player transformed everything. Take Clark away, and the Fever go back to being a struggling small-market franchise nobody cares about. That's not a sustainable model. That's winning the lottery. Small market teams can't rely on generational superstars falling into their laps every few years. They need systems that allow them to compete regardless of star power. The Connecticut model proves it's possible, even if the league doesn't appreciate it. The Sun built success through smart management, player development, and creating a tight-knit family culture. Players who came through Connecticut consistently praised the organization's commitment to relationships and winning. Former players spoke about how special the environment was despite the location challenges. The Sun made 4 finals without a single superstar of Clark or Wilson's caliber. They competed through depth, coaching, and organizational excellence. Yet the league treats them like a problem to be solved rather than a success story to celebrate. When expansion teams in Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia joined for a combined $750 million in expansion fees, nobody offered Connecticut a fraction of that support. When the Golden State Valkyries got a state-of-the-art practice facility and every resource imaginable, the Sun still practiced in a community gym. The disparity reveals everything about how the WNBA views small-market franchises. They're obstacles, temporary placeholders until bigger, better markets become available. The survival strategies differ by market. Some teams lean heavily into local basketball culture like Connecticut did with UConn. Others build through the draft and player development, hoping to strike gold before stars demand trades to bigger cities. A few find wealthy owners willing to spend regardless of market size, like Mark Davis transforming the Aces in Las Vegas. But Las Vegas isn't really a small market anymore. It's a destination city with unlimited entertainment options and massive tourism. True small markets like Connecticut or Minnesota face different challenges entirely. Minnesota survived by becoming a model franchise despite Minneapolis not being a traditional basketball powerhouse. The Lynx built a dynasty through excellent management and culture. 4 championships between 2011 and 2017. Consistent playoff appearances, a reputation as one of the best-run organizations in sports. But even they face pressure as player priorities shift. Stars want Los Angeles or New York visibility. They want easy travel and maximum endorsement potential. Small markets have to work twice as hard to keep talent that big markets attract effortlessly. The financial reality crushes dreams. The WNBA historically lost money, with the NBA subsidizing operations for years. Teams operated on tight budgets with minimal infrastructure investment. That's changing fast. The league signed a $2.2 billion TV deal in 2024. Expansion fees hit $250 million per team. Franchise valuations skyrocketed. The Golden State Valkyries in their first season are worth an estimated $500 million. The The Connecticut Sun, with 20-plus years of success and profitability, got valued at just $80 million before the sale drama. The gap keeps widening. New teams in major markets get NBA-level facilities, massive media attention, and corporate partnership opportunities small markets can't match. The Dallas Wings, Atlanta Dream, and Las Vegas Aces all sold out their season ticket allotments before the 2024 season started. Meanwhile, teams in smaller markets grind to fill seats unless they have a transcendent star. The structural disadvantages multiply. Player movement accelerates the problem. Stars increasingly force their way to preferred destinations through trades or free agency. Breanna Stewart chose New York. Brittany Griner stayed in Phoenix. Jonquel Jones left Connecticut for the Liberty. The pattern repeats constantly. Small market teams develop talent, then watch helplessly as players bolt for bigger stages. Building continuity becomes nearly impossible when your best players view you as a stepping stone. Some adapt by embracing their identity. The Sun leaned into being Connecticut's team, not trying to pretend they were something else. They celebrated the casino partnership and local basketball culture. They made the small arena feel intimate and intense rather than inadequate. Fans responded with loyalty, rare in professional sports. Even as stars left, the fan base remained committed. That loyalty counts for something, even if the league doesn't always value it properly. The expansion conversation highlights the divide. The WNBA plans to reach 18 teams by 2030, adding franchises in major markets with NBA partnerships. Every new team comes with built-in advantages small market teams never enjoyed. Shared arenas, corporate sponsorships, media infrastructure, marketing reach. The investment disparity is staggering. Meanwhile, existing small market franchises fight for scraps, hoping to survive long enough to benefit from the league's growth. But survival means more than just existing. It requires generating enough revenue to compete financially, building facilities that attract and retain talent, creating cultures strong enough to overcome geographic disadvantages, developing players better than big market teams that can lure stars with lifestyle perks. The challenge never ends. Every offseason brings new threats. Every free agency period risks losing your best players to teams that can offer everything you can't. The Connecticut situation might be a turning point. If the WNBA forces out a successful small market franchise that saved the league when it was dying, what message does that send? Loyalty means nothing. History doesn't matter. Only current market size and revenue potential count. Other small market teams are watching closely. If Connecticut can be pushed out after doing everything right, nobody's safe. Minnesota, Indiana without Clark, even Seattle might face similar pressure eventually. The path forward isn't clear. Small market teams need structural support from the league, not just lip service. Revenue sharing that actually helps smaller franchises compete. Draft advantages that reward teams for developing talent locally. Protection from stars forcing their way out before contracts end. Something that levels the playing field beyond hoping you draft the next Caitlin Clark. Because right now, the system favors big markets overwhelmingly. And as the WNBA grows, that advantage only increases. Small market teams that survived the league's struggling years might not survive its success. The irony is painful. They kept women's basketball alive when nobody else wanted it. Now they're being told they're not good enough for the WNBA's bright future. That's not just business, that's betrayal. And small market teams are running out of ways to fight back.